Hello, Manipuri Diaspora viewers. All these days we have been bringing Manipuri expatriates from all around the world to you. And today we have got an important guest, Mr. LIEN GANGTE, who originally lived in Kangpokpi in Manipur and moved to UK. He lives both in UK and in France, and he travels a lot. Today we are fortunate to meet him. We will be asking a few questions to him so that he shares some of his knowledge and expertise with our people here. Mr. LIEN, welcome to Manipuri Diaspora.
Thank you for having me.
Very nice to meet you. We hear that you travel a lot.
Yes.
And then you seem to have a lot of projects both in UK and here in Manipur. So could you please share some of your stories, how you grew up here and then moved to UK, and then how your life is there?
I grew up in Kangpokpi. I think my childhood was very interesting, and then I had no plans to go beyond Manipur, but eventually I got to Delhi, and from there it spiraled on to going abroad. And in 2002 I had an opportunity to go to the UK. I have been there since then, and then I became a British citizen, and then I've lived in Europe for the last 16 years now.
When did you go to UK?
2002, September.
2002. Oh, okay. That's the same year I went to Canada.
Yes.
Coincidentally. Okay, and so you went to UK in the year 2002 and you started working there, right? So what kind of work was that?
My first the reason why I went in 2002 was I was working for a charity. It was a voluntary work full time, and I was with the same charity for 2 years. And in 2004 I became a student in the UK, and then from being a student I managed to get a work permit in 2008, and I've just lived on from there.
Okay, so you live in the United Kingdom. You are a citizen now, right?
Yes.
Of United Kingdom, and so including me, many people are confused about what kind of political setup is there in the United Kingdom. Say, for example, when somebody says England, and then again Great Britain, and then United Kingdom, what kind of connotations they give?
It's quite a complex situation. I personally not very clear about it, but then again I always consider myself British. Some people say you're English, but I don't agree with that. I can be British, but I will never be English, because I think
you are a citizen of Britain, but you are not by race, you are not an English.
Yes,
is that what you mean?
That's what I meant.
Okay, but what about the political setup? United Kingdom. So what kind of lands and people are covered by United Kingdom?
I would say it's England, Wales, Scotland, and
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, but then I think it's United Kingdom and Northern Ireland.
That's official name.
Yeah, that's official name.
Okay. Yes. United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland,
yes.
Right? And then when you say Great Britain, what geographical area that covers?
It covers Scotland, Wales, and then England, I think, and then Jersey Island, the Guernsey, Jersey Island, the Channel Islands.
Okay.
And then I think Gibraltar.
Okay.
And then if I'm not wrong, it's the Falkland Island as well near
Oh, okay.
Argentina.
Yeah,
It's also another
way
part.
down there near Argentina, right? Okay.
If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, and so especially about yeah, this area. Okay. So you have lived there for quite many years, and now you live in France.
France,
Right?
yes.
Since when?
Since 2015. I've always wanted to travel. I think for me, one of the reasons why I consider myself very lucky to be living in Europe and having that opportunity to live outside India is that I have the opportunity to travel as well to other parts of the world.
Yeah.
And luckily, I'm very lucky to say that I've been to about 30 countries so far.
30 countries. Okay,
Yeah.
that's quite a lot.
So I plan to extend that list.
Have you covered all the continents or
Not Australia yet.
Not Australia
Yeah,
yet.
so I've touched a little bit of Africa. I went to Morocco last time.
Okay.
And then I've been to Canada. So not South America, not yet.
Very recently, you have been to somewhere in the Southeast
Yes,
Asia?
Thailand. So I've been to Thailand, Singapore,
Thailand,
Hong Kong, Macau, that sort of thing.
Okay. Okay, and so now you started living in France for a few years?
Yes, a few years, 2015.
Okay, so how come a British citizen and then now in
Well,
France?
it's still, because of Brexit, it's not part of EU anymore, but then it was part of EU. So with as a British citizen, you can live anywhere in that comes under EU, and then you can benefit the same sort of benefits, and you can work, you can study, you can do whatever you like. So
Okay.
but that is going to change
So you speak French language too?
a little bit.
A little bit?
I'm not very
Okay.
fluent, but yes.
And yeah, living there for quite a few years, and then you must be familiar with the French culture, what kind of etiquettes they have. Do you find any difference between the British and then the French?
I think the experts would on human behavior would say a lot of differences.
Okay.
But then again, on a day-to-day interaction, I only have very limited friends right now in France, and also I also had very limited friends, English or British friends in the UK. So according to my interaction with all these friends and the people I come across with, I think not a lot of differences. But generally, there's a saying that French people are a bit more stubborn, and
French people are more stubborn.
yeah,
Okay.
and they also say it themselves. You know,
Oh,
that,
okay.
Oh, we're
Okay.
stubborn. We're very stubborn. You know.
Okay.
So
they used to
things like
fight
that,
under Napoleon. And
I guess so.
Okay.
There's a frenemy kind of situation going on between France and England,
Okay.
and in the UK. Because I think France also has a very rich culture. Their language is beautiful,
Mhm.
and historically, it's a very important part of the world. So they are proud of it, and rightly so. They should be proud of it. You know.
Okay.
So for me, I'm happy wherever I am. Put me in a small village somewhere in Manipur, I'll be happy.
Mhm.
But put me in a city, I'll be happy too. That's the kind of person I am. So I'm very lucky that way.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
obviously, there are some struggles along the
Right.
way. Sometimes you feel a little bit lonely,
Mhm.
but then again, once you make friends and once you start building up that circle, you know,
Yeah.
it becomes a bit more easier. And I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. We see that in you.
So my
Okay.
Facebook updates, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and so I hear that the Western people are more outgoing, and then the French people take a little time to mix with other people. Is that true?
Personally, I felt that, yes, definitely. It was not easy to make friends just like that, you know.
Mhm.
They take time to connect with you,
Mhm.
but once you have that connection, once you have that friendship, you know,
Okay.
it becomes quite meaningful. And I really.
What about the
really
language?
appreciate
Say which language do you like? I mean, say we are told French language is a sweet language, and
it certainly is beautiful language.
beautiful.
But it's not an easy language to learn
Okay.
because it's not the grammar and everything is not straightforward. There are a lot of things that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Because everything is supposed to be either masculine or feminine.
Mhm.
So even a table or a chair could be either masculine or feminine. So that can get very complicated because there's no reasoning as to why they're masculine and why
Is
something is
it an
feminine.
entirely different language from English, or are there something common between the two languages?
A lot of words are the same. Like say for example, education.
Mm-hmm.
In English we say education, but then in French they say education, something like that. No, so like there's a little twist, and sorry, my French is really bad. So
Okay.
education, something like that. So there's a little sort of they stress in certain areas of the word. They stress certain letters, and it makes a little bit more different sound.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You come here almost every year to Manipur?
I try to, yes.
Try to, and you seem to be having some projects here. Can you talk about that?
I believe in giving back to your society where you grew up.
Giving back to your
Yeah.
people. Okay.
So I believe very strongly in that, and because wherever you are, whatever you have achieved, anybody or people should not forget their roots.
Okay.
And if you've gone abroad or anywhere, or even if you are in Manipur, if you've done well in your life, I think you should never forget that there are people who are less fortunate than you, and you should be grateful for what you have, but also have the heart or the spirit to give something back to your community.
You are addressing it to the Manipuri people who have gone abroad,
Yes.
settled there,
Yeah.
established there, right? So yeah.
So if you've gone abroad, if you've done something good, or if you've done really, really well, I think you should not really put all your money and all your wealth within your own pocket. Just give it out. There are people who needs them, and life is too short not to be helping each other. I believe that whatever I have achieved in life, there has been people around who has helped me and who has supported me in some ways. So I think the people who helped me or who supported me in the past doesn't need my help. But then again, they did it because I can do it to somebody else who are less fortunate than me. So it's like a cycle. So I strongly believe in that.
So in what way you are trying to give back to your society here?
I was very happy, very grateful when I got my work permit, and then I was literally over the joy, over the moon. And what happened was I came home to renew my visa, and I came home to see my mom, and I saw a lot of kids playing around during the day, and I look at them and I could see that these kids were me, many years ago. There were times when things were very tough in the family, and then schools were sort of, it was an option, but then regular education wasn't an option. There's a couple of incidents in my own life as well. So I felt very strongly about that. So I decided that if I have a work permit in the UK, and if I'm going to work full time now, I should be able to help somebody. So this is about giving back and being grateful to whatever blessings you have received. And so I decided to start a project and sponsor some girls in my locality. And in 2010 it became a bit more bigger, and then we started off with 10 children.
So what are those activities?
Just pay for the educational expenses.
Pay for? Okay, okay.
So they're not orphans, so we don't sort of have an orphanage or any hostel or anything. Most of them live with their relatives and their parents, and then we just pay for the school admission fees, uniform, books, and pencils and stuff like that.
You're supporting a few students. So how many?
Right now we have 8.
8 students.
The 7.
7 students.
One has just completed her metric exam, so she's just going to finish her high school.
Okay, that's wonderful. And so is that all, or I mean?
I think it's time I come to Manipur. I get inspired to do certain things, and then I think along the way there are friends who help me, achieve those dreams that I have. And in 2013 we started discussing about the possibility of having a communal space, community park in my hometown in Manipur. And luckily for us, we have a big piece of land which is owned by or run by a mission society, the Kapopi Mission Compound. And so with them, we have now established an area where we can create a green space for kids to play around and have fresh air, and then we can talk about environmental issues with schools and kids and stuff like that. So when I did that, I wanted to instill that ownership among the students. So I asked the school owners and the principals and headmasters if they can get involved, and so I asked them if they can send their kids to come and do some work around the community park.
Okay.
And I told them in return I can come in and then do some sessions with the students in terms of building confidence and communication skills and all those things. Whatever I knew from my job in London, I was just imparting the little knowledge that I have. Even though I'm not an expert, I could certainly bring in a little bit of an outsider kind of influence within the school, and that went on quite well, and then spiral on to having interactive session with teachers as well, and discussing the issues and the problems within the school and within the education system. And so my role is just an initiator within those settings. We talk about things together, and then we solve each other's problems. It's about starting that dialogue, within the teaching staffs and stuff like that. So it's going well, I would say. And then the park is also coming along. The progress is really slow, but I think very grateful for friends, people around me who are supporting me and who are helping me in many ways.
Yeah.
So I see Manipur as my little,
I would say that's a very, very right intervention at this point of time, because based on my own experience, I find the employability of our graduates very, very low here, and majority of them, they do not have the soft skills, for example, the life skills which are considered the 21st century skills, right? And so they don't have that, and so we need a very, very big intervention on a war footing in that area, and then what you are doing is excellent. That will benefit the students and then the young generation very much. And so you come here and then you form some kind of a committee here to support you?
No, well, so far there isn't any committee or any team that kind of works with me. I work with individually with different people like NGOs or whoever is willing to kind of collaborate with me in a small scale, And there's no financial transaction going on between me and other agencies. We just do it because we wanted to do it. It's all voluntary. And I think the main idea is to inspire young people and kids in schools to think about outside the box, for example, and think that they should aspire for better things in life, not just government jobs or sit at home and not do anything and stuff like that. For example, today I initiated a school visit to Ligla factory and bakery.
Okay.
So that we can inspire these kids as to what's going out there, how are we producing the water, how are we baking the cakes and everything. And then we went in, and then they could see the professionalism of the workers there. They were, these kids, they were very impressed as to what was happening there, the bottles and the water and the baking and the cake, and it was just a busy factory. And then they were literally full of questions. And it was a very successful visit, and then we hope to do similar things. And then I think I would like to also reach out at this point to other companies in Manipur. If you have businesses, if you have factories, if you have industries, please invite school children, inspire them and teach them, maybe have an internship kind of
Exactly. Yes. That's another
facilities,
thing
opportunities
missing.
for them to come in and be an intern in your factories, in your office, so that they can come and learn something about like
Yeah.
soft skills. For example, how to talk to people, how to work in an office, how to work in a factory. All those things. So it's very important that we work together.
Yeah, about the internship also, that has been missing in our educational institutions. And in fact, All India Council for Technical Education, they are the authority to regulate the academic activities in the technical education all over India. And they passed a rule about 2 years ago that internships should be mandatory in all technical educations, but still it's not taking off very well. And so some kind of intervention in that area is again required here for Manipur, because we have to prepare our youth for the employment market, which is not an easy thing for the conventional education. We have to change the education system, and then the way we train our people so that they can tackle the skill requirements.
Yeah, it's well and good about dreaming about big companies and big like massive airports and all those things, but if we don't have people who can be employed in all those areas, then we're not going to make anything out of it. So I think we need those skills, definitely, and then we need to build it now with the young students so that they can grow up and then learn that these are the things that they can aspire to and look forward to in their future. So very important.
Lien, can you talk about the Manipuri community in United Kingdom? So how many people, what's the population size at the moment?
I'm not sure the exact amount. We have an organization called IMA.
European Manipuri Association,
Yes.
right?
They have gatherings once or twice a year. I've been to quite a few of them. They have also been quite involved in some of the things I do, like sponsoring my marathon and my educational project and stuff like that in the past. And individually, a lot of the members within IMA are very supportive of my activities here, coordinating with them and always talking. We have a WhatsApp group where we share our activities and update each other on what's happening. So it's a very nicely knitted community. With a very good outlook, I would say, positive outlook towards Manipur. So I think IMA is doing quite well in terms of involvement within themselves and also to Manipur. So the concept of giving back, is there. That spirit of giving back is there within the IMA members in Europe as well. So this is quite nice.
I think we don't have many people outside. Otherwise, diaspora lobby is a big thing. Say for example, the Gujaratis, they live outside, and many of them successful, big community, and then they bring up ideas to help their government in India. So things like that. And so if our diaspora expatriate population, if we can establish some kind of connection, say maybe for that matter, the Manipuris all over the world, then the ideas they bring up, and then that will be very useful to our local government here, our people here. It has been very nice talking to you.
And good luck with whatever you're doing here. You're creating a lot of opportunities for young people, and I think obviously you have an office here in Imphal, but I guess reaching out to other parts of Manipur, please do so.
That's what, we are contemplating a few of trust areas. One is in the area of preparing the young kids. Say for example, we organize every year the summer camp. And so for 7 days, and we try to give all the life skills to, and then exposing them to all the successful people, big or small, young or old. And then say we have career counseling, which is again with the application of some scientific tools. And then again we are trying to introduce the corporate training here, for the benefit of all our business houses here in Manipur. They are business houses who employ hundreds or even thousand employees, and then they need a corporate culture at their workplaces. And then our job seekers, that they have to be trained about the corporate readiness, so that by the time they graduate and then they land in a job and then they fit into the modern workplace. So that way, and so we're trying to give an intervention into that area. And then, like we discussed, say the internship, we are setting up say an internship coordination center here. So that will again benefit the academic institutions, the host companies, and then the interns. And so we'll be the hub. So so all those things are on the card. And then again, say on top of that, the overseas opportunities, especially for Canada, since I'm the licensed consultant, and so I have a means to help them. So some students have started going to Canada, and some more are in the pipeline. And then for that matter, for those professionals who want to go there for advancing their careers, and so we have, and then we are setting up a scholarship inventory also, so that all the deserving students, they can avail of the opportunities. This is just starting. We are 1.5 years old here. We are not a big team, but we are aiming at growing it. Do you have any message for anybody local or our people abroad?
Not really. Well, a message for everybody who has an origin from Manipur, wherever you are, inspire each other, work harder, love one another, trust each other. There's a lot of things, but be true to yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much for this review, and I'm fascinated by your projects, and so I congratulate you on some of the successes, and then I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.